So here we have a female comedian, which is an oxymoron in and of itself. But but here she's going to reveal why it's hard for most women with high body counts, and that could be subjective and objective. What number is too high of a body count? But she's going to show why it's hard for women with high body counts. Inadvertently, she's going to show this how hard it is with women with high body counts to date or to get why relationships with women with high body counts are often very unfulfilling and usually end in a divorce, breakup, separation of kids. Always, it never is never a good it's never a good outcome at the end. So let's take a listen to this female comedian.
New relationships are awkward because you got to tell a whole new person what you like in bed. And the only reason you know what you like in bed is because someone else did it to you first. But you can't say it like that, right? You got to do that cute little tap dance of like, oh, babe, you know what would be so fun? This never even occurred to me before. You know what your body is inspiring me to do right now? But in your head, you're just like, do it like Craig. Could you just do it how Craig did it every time? Craig didn't do shit right. He did that right. Let me tell you. Can we just call him? Can we just call him and ask? It's not a big deal. We're all adults here. Remember when we reset the Wi-Fi router last month? It's just like that, baby. He's just a voice on the phone with a password. That's all he is to me now. No, I did block his number when you asked me to. Of course I did. But when you block a number, your phone kind of just saves it in a different folder. Ooh, some of us are going to fight in the car. Not everybody knew that. New relationships are awkward because you got to tell a whole new person.
Now, when people of the red pill community talked about stuff like this, we were called insecure, right? We're called insecure. That's specifically when we talk about situations like this, right? Oh, we're insecure. Oh, you're controlling, and oh, like, oh, why does body count doesn't matter? Really? Nah, we hitting it right on the head. We're hitting it right on the head. And I'm so happy that you got like female comedians, right? Especially like I've done videos on female comedians snitching on themselves, on how women think about certain stuff. Look, the more the body count, the more of her soul that she gives out to those men. And she's not going to be able to just, oh, it doesn't matter to me no more. Women don't work that way. They want to think that they can work that way, but they can't. Hence why when you talk about, especially when you see women with severe mental issues, it's a high likely chance, like especially what you're talking about when you look at crazy women, when they're like, oh man, she's crazy in the head. Most likely, meaning like she's OC, like she out of control, like you can't bring her nowhere. Most likely you're dealing with a woman that has a high body count. And for some reason, they don't want to put these things together because women want to have their own, in today's age, they want to have their own sexual agency. They want to be able to control what happens, but at the end of the day, they don't even know what's really best for their own selves. So let's take a quick listen to the highlights real quick. So right here,
you got to tell a whole new person what you like in bed. And the only reason you know what you like in bed is because someone else did it to you first. But you can't say it like that, right? You got to do that cute little tap dance of like, oh, babe, you know what would be so fun? That's never even.
And I want to mention something too, because there's this thing, because people get surprised when you'll have like they'll be surprised that these new ladies, particularly like when you see like when you're talking about certain women in certain professions, they'll have like real deep voices, and people be like, what's going on with that? But people have shown where if you take your, like, there's certain birth controls that women have taken since middle school, but because they had a male doctor, the male doctor wasn't really aware that there are certain birth controls you're only supposed to take for like 2 months, but they've been taking it for like 5 years. I don't know if I don't have that video on my Instagram anymore. I had saved it, but I think I deleted it. But it was interesting when it was a woman talking about why there needs to be more female doctors. There needs to be more women that understand how these things work, because what stood out to me is when she was talking about her situation, she had a really deep voice, and some of these birth control things that women take, it does some. It really does. I think it does something to them mentally, but but outside of outside of the physical changes, but I think it does something to them mentally, and I think it really affects them where they develop certain things that are masculine like, or when people, if a woman goes into a male dominated thing, they end up picking up those characteristics. So this is a woman you can tell that looks up to a lot of male comedians, who once or probably hung out with a lot of male comedians, so her mannerisms, her voice, she sounds like the typical like female basketball player, like, you know what I mean? Female college basketball or WNBA player, you know? Now, that's just a sidebar. A lot of women, when they're entering new relationships, right, they have to downplay the amount of men that they've been with. If you knew the amount of men that they have slept with, I think most American men would be MGTOW. And I know that's a very bold statement to make, but I believe, because I don't think men understand. If you ask a man, what would you consider a high body count for the average American woman? They would all say, oh yeah, like 30 is a high body count, 20. Dudes, I have news for you. In today's girls, that's actually a woman today. You can't be shocked if by age 19 she already got a 20 body count. You can't be shocked. I don't know what to tell, because I remember watching one of Coach Greg Adams' stream, and he said 20 is not a high body count for women. And people were fighting him on this point. And I was like, wow, they have no idea. I was like, people have no idea. I'm like, y'all never been I'm like, what were y'all doing in college? Now, maybe I have a different perspective because, you know, I was in the athletes dormitory. So, right. Or I just know, because I've been in these spaces. Guys, women can, they don't count everybody in their body count. Right. So now when they go into an official relationship, they're always going to say the same thing. Oh, I've only been with 3. Oh, I've been with 5. Right. 7. They always say a number that doesn't sound too bad. And usually they'll say in the single digits when they're entering their next thing, or they'll say it doesn't matter. And then they'll be at a bar one day with their boyfriend, and then the girl gets drunk, and then she'll accidentally tell him her real body count, and the boyfriend will be shocked. Guys, you cannot be shocked. Like, it's pretty common now to see. I'm just saying, in my case, it's very common to see Gen Z women, particularly, that have body counts in the 3 digits by like age 24, 25. It's not uncommon. It's not uncommon to meet a Gen Z girl that has body counts in the triple digits. I'm sorry to break it to you guys. You know what I mean? And this is where statements, you know, a comedian acts like this is where it rings true. You know what I mean? I've already talked about, you know, I've already did the body count live stream. I've already done the video about body count. So I don't want to rehash on what women consider, what they would count on their body count thing. Just know that the only ones that they're going to count are the ones that they've been in relationships with, and the ones where it was so obvious to their friends that they can't deny the person slept with them. You know what I mean? So that's the only ones that they count. And so you're going to have, so when you have women, when they enter these relationships, they have to really put on a good front, especially when it comes to the bedroom, what they're asking for. And most women, especially Gen Z women, most of them are way too experienced compared to their average male counterparts, where you got most guys over the age of 18 that are, a lot of them are virgins. Like a third of them are virgins between 18 to 30. They've done a study. A third of them are virgins, even in their 20s. Meanwhile, by 21 or 22, a lot of women that same age are already tapped out. Like, that's how long they've been in the streets for. You know what I mean? So it's this imbalance, right, is what's causing a lot of the issues that we see right now.